Welcome to another episode with your host, Robert E. Hansen, psychic medium, author, and public speaker.
Welcome back. Today I'd like to share a story entitled Windows Without Walls. There was a young woman I had met whose mother had passed away, and the grief was palpable. She was in her mid to late 30s, and her mother had died a very serious, long illness with cancer. And her daughter was very, very close to her. She attended her needs. She brought her in and out of the restroom. She prepared her food, changed her linen, made sure her mom was comfortable, took her to doctor's appointments. And she did this all, of course, while raising her own family, her husband, her kids. And her dad had passed some years before, and the mother lived right downstairs in the lower part of the home. So she had access to her mom pretty much all the time. Her mom had chances to see her grandkids and be around her husband and enjoy the family life as her days began to slowly dissolve as the calendar pages slowly began to pull away. But the relationship with this young woman, with her mother, was extremely close, very loving, very caring, very compassionate. They were the proverbial two peas in the pod, best friends, the mother taking care of this young lady all her life. And as things have turned and changed, as the mother's situation got more grave, the daughter stepped up even more and more to make sure her mom was safe and well. It was really, really beautiful to hear the way she treated her mother, and it was really a pleasure to meet her. So one day, she came to see me. Her mom, unfortunately, had passed, and her mother had died in her sleep, and the daughter went down to say goodnight to her mother, and then she realized her mom had left without saying goodbye, and she simply drifted into eternity, not looking to disturb the family or the daughter. But the daughter's heart was terribly broken, and she grieved and grieved that her mother left without saying goodbye. And that was one of the questions I was asked when I was doing my work as a medium reading her. She said, "Robert, does my mother really hear me when I pray to her? Does my mother realize how much I miss her? Does my mother really know and really make sure that she's around me? My heart is breaking. I don't know what to do." So I did the reading for her, and she was very, very happy. There was a lot of very specific information, a lot of emotion, a lot of tears, a lot of tissues on the floor. It was really, really quite beautiful, and I could tell she was very, very fulfilled, but also deeply troubled. And she finally asked me, does my mother really hear me when I call out to her, when I pray to her? Is she really that close by, or is she off someplace in a dimension or in some location that she's gone from me forever and I will never see her again, which is the fear of so many. So I shared a story with her, and I told her to please open your heart while I'll explain this to you. I said, there's a young woman. Her name was Pat. It happened to be her name as well, so I used her name. And I said, Pat, I'm going to share this story with you. And it's a story of a woman named Pat whose mother had recently passed without saying goodbye in their home. Now, she knew I was talking about her, of course. But what was more important was the message in this next piece. And I said, Pat, one night, this woman, Pat, is praying to her mother, and suddenly, out of nowhere, her mother's soul arises right in front of this young woman named Pat. And Pat began weeping and crying and saying, Mommy, is this you? Is this really you? Is this really you? And the mother's soul excuse me, and the mother's soul said, "Yes, my love. Yes, my daughter. It is me. Pat, I am here for you, sweetheart. I love you." "Oh my God, Mommy, this is so great. This is wonderful. This is beautiful. Mommy, I need to know. I need to know. Could you please answer me that when I prayed to you, I have been told that there is a window that opens up between my soul and your soul, that you come through this window between my soul and your soul. When I prayed to you, is that true? Is that true, Mommy? Is that true?" And the mother sighed and said to her beautiful daughter, Pat, I'm sorry. That is not true. That is just not true. Pat fell into despair. She began sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. Oh my God, Mommy, I thought I could connect with you. Oh my God. But the mother's soul had not left. And she drew very, very close to her daughter, so much so her daughter could literally feel the mother's arms wrapping around her, kissing her face and holding her. And this beautiful mother said to her child, Pat, how can there be any windows when there are no walls? And Pat's head snapped up and she realized that her mother's presence has no barriers for her at all. That every minute, every breath, every movement of the heart and soul, her mother joins her and is completely at peace with her and will never, ever leave her, and nor can they ever lose each other. The woman I was reading, whose name was also Pat, was sobbing. And I said to her, this is exactly what happens. That physical death can never take away love. You can never lose your beautiful mother. Her body had to shift, but her soul remains home with you guys. And never think for one moment that your mother has separated from you. What a beautiful, beautiful story, and one I love to share, and one I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me.